another video, guys. How y'all been doing? Today we're gonna do a comic stock spotlight on a villain that you kind of feel like is overdue. Like, why haven't we seen him? We heard like he could be in this movie, he can be in this movie. Why haven't they shown him yet? Like, you ready for it? You like, come on, guys. That being said, guys, I'm gonna show you 3 comics of how I feel. This is my personal opinion, guys. You know, I want nobody to be like, well, that comic's more valuable than that one. It is what it is. Y'all want to see those 3 comics? Stay tuned. Alright, guys. With that being said, today we're going to talk about your tentacle slashing Soviet Union villain. Love those villains. Omega Red. Now, before we get into those 3 comics, guys, I need to do like a backstory of him. So he was an experiment. I think they kind of touched on it in Black Widow, of like how she was experimenting on. He went through the same things, because we heard like rumors like, okay, Omega Red, he can possibly premiere in that, and we're like, oh man, we gonna see Black Widow fight Omega Red. That would have been nice. That would have definitely been nice. I would have been like, what? But with that backstory, guys, you have to understand his powers. He has superhuman strength. He has superhuman speed, stamina, durability, reflexes. A lot of people don't know, unless you read the comics, that Omega Red has these things called death spores. Like, his body releases them, and then, unless you're a mutant, like a Wolverine, with your boys with claws, or a Sabretooth, or any mutant with regenerative abilities, you done for. An average human, done. Like, death spores are meant to kill off any and everything near it, and any human or mutant that's not able to fight that off is done. His body releases that, and it's called death spores. It's like a pheromone, and it's done. You toast. You out of there. They had him ranked as like the 95th villain of all time, and I'm like, like, I get it. Like, Omega Red's not your Apocalypse or your Sabretooth, or he's not that A-tier villain. Hell, he's not even that B-tier villain like your Juggernaut, or like, he's not those. He's more like a C. He's in there with that reign of Taskmaster, those type of villains. Like, he's popular enough to be identified and stand on his own at times, but you wouldn't really compare Omega Red to Magneto. Like Magneto's an A-list. Like, how if we're doing it in like a list of celebrities, Magneto is like an A-list celebrity. Omega Red is probably like a C-list. Like, he's the one that has a few good movies on the streaming channels, and you're like, oh man, he's good. But he doesn't get the credit he's due. Omega Red is that character. Now, he also, in the comics, has his own clan. But you have Omega Black, you have Omega White, and you have Omega Red. I'm not going to really get into all of that, because it gets a little confusing with all the Omegas. But he's strong enough to lead his own crew. Now, with that being said, he's actually had run-ins with Colossus. If you guys watched the 90s animated series with the XMen, that you would know that they both pretty much came from the same background of, being in Russia. The only difference is he wanted to take it back over and restore it back to the USSR, Soviet Union type Russia. He wanted to and then expand and take over everything. So he was looking more on world domination as a villain is supposed to, right? Like we ain't gonna. He's a villain. Like what villain don't want world domination? With that being said, guys, like I feel like he's one of those villains that I just don't understand. Like I thought, like okay, they'll put him in Black Widow. They didn't put him in that. It was rumors a while ago that they would put him in like what was it? It may have been Deadpool or something. I don't know, but I may be confusing him with Taskmaster. I feel like Omega Red is due. I really feel like he's due. I feel like he can possibly going on into this new phase. He can either appear in a new Black Widow movie if they decide to do a continue to do a Black Widow 2 and they use Elena instead of Natasha. I feel like that could be a way they can use Omega Red that way. But I feel like eventually you're gonna have to use Omega Red in anything dealing with Wolverine. He's the only either Wolverine or Colossus that are only two strong enough to handle this guy. I told you guys about those death spores. Those are important. Yelena's a human. Natasha's a human. Those death spores will kill them. It's over with. That being said, guys, let's jump into these comics. Got 3. First one. What if Phoenix rose again? Number 33. This is actually a cameo appearance of Omega Red. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna do an X-Men number 1, 1992, 92, 93. Even though they have special illustrations on the character, I have it. I have quite a few. But to me, that was like, that was the highest print run of a comic ever. With at least, 9 million copies printed. It's not going to be trouble to find those. Like, it's not. It's not. Like, you got different covers, and I get that. But it's not going to be hard to find those. But with that being said, this is a cameo of Omega Red. In my opinion, this is like a sell. I don't really see this comic getting higher, maybe in $20-$30. And if you bought it at the ground floor, then hey, that's a profit. But if it's something you want to fill in and you're a diehard Omega Red fan, or you want the comics because you see he's gonna appear or you feel like he's gonna appear, this is one you might want to take a look at. It's not too expensive, guys. This is probably, at the most, you should probably spend maybe $10 to $15 at the most. We're talking about high grades and all. He's not on the cover, of course. That can be deceptive with comic books. Like, you have to understand that even though a character has appeared in this one or appeared in this one, you have to do your research and understand that, yes, he may not be on the cover, or she may not be on the cover, but they're in the book. That's their first appearance. That's their cameo appearance. Hence, to me, guys, this is a sale. But I would recommend, if you are truly a diehard fan of Omega Red, get it. It's a great read. Alright, with number 2. We got X-Men number 5. That one gets tricky. That's a Jim Lee cover. Jim Lee did some amazing art with X-Men, guys. That's the reason, like, now people are starting to recognize X-Men number 1. This is one that's a hold for me. Hold that. That is going to be very important because That's important just as much as X-Men number 4. That's important at X-Men number 5. It really is, guys. I feel like this comic is gonna do. I don't think it's gonna be as important as his first appearance, X-Men number 4, but it'll be just as important. It'll kind of be like, let's see, how can we throw it out there? You got like the first appearance of Blade, right? Tomb of Dracula number 10. But then you turn around and Tomb of Dracula number 12 becomes important because it's second appearance, and the average collector or the person that's not willing to spend that amount of money on his first appearance is willing to spend that amount on his second appearance. Told you guys, origins and cameos become important when a character is high. Always focus on those. If you're not able to get that first appearance, focus on the cameos and the origins. People go after those. Or the second appearance. People go after those too. This is a second appearance. Now with X-Men 4, you just have like his hand and his tentacles on the cover. With this one, he's clearly on the cover, fighting Wolverine. That's when I feel like he'll finally get his due, is when it's time. When Wolverine premieres, you're going to finally, I feel like, honestly, you're going to finally see Sabretooth. You're going to see Omega Red. You can see a bunch of characters that are tied into Wolverine. That's how you know Wolverine is that special, that he has a lot of characters tied into when he appears. And he's their main villain. You got your Alpha Flight, that was his former team. You got the Jean Grey and Cyclops story. You got all that stuff. All that appears, and you're like, it can't be done without Wolverine. And Wolverine is that much of an iconic character. Even though he's not the leader, he's so much of a standalone that he can do it by himself that you're like, oh man, I gotta give it a shot, guys. Invest in that one. Hold that one, guys. I feel like that's gonna be very important going on down the road. And it even says at the hands of Omega Red. So it's letting you know that he's fighting Omega Red and it's going to be a problem. Also with that, guys, he has carbon, I hope I pronounced this right, carbonanium tentacles. It's not adamantium, but it's stronger than steel and pretty much indestructible. So imagine his tentacles slashing and or swiping and Wolverine's trying to claw it. Like, that's gonna be difficult for any hero, right? Omega Red's one of those villains that's very underrated, guys. You gotta give him his respect. And with that, number 3, X-Men number 4. This is the comic anybody that's an Omega Red fan or an investor, you need to invest in. Right now, the comics are low. People don't know when he's going to premiere, but I think he's too much of an iconic character not to premiere. I don't know if they'll start him out for the movie or TV show, but once he is announced that he's going to premiere, it's over. This comic has seen gains already. Like, you have had people paying for high grades over 100. And we're talking about the X-Men's in the 90s. So the print run was crazy. So I'm like, if they're willing to pay that, what do you think they're going to pay when he's finally actually announced and it's a date when he's going to premiere? It's going to be insane, guys. That is the one, that is your buy. If you can buy anything of Omega Red, buy X-Men number 4, the 1990 series. That is the one you want to actually stake your claim on. If you're an investor, hell, I would suggest buying X-Men number 4 and X-Men number 5. If you're just an Omega Red fan, buy all of them. Even X-Men number 1 that has an illustration of him in the comic book. Buy that one. Can't go wrong. That being said, guys, it's Cash Cow with another video. You guys be safe. I'm gonna continue to hit you with stuff. I got some comments coming on the way, so I got some videos coming. It's been a minute. I know you guys like, wow, he dropped video every few weeks or something like that. I was getting stuff together. I got a few things coming for you guys. I promise this time. Got a few videos coming for you guys. I'm getting my stuff together. Trying to figure out this YouTube stuff. Have fun with it, but also spread my word to as many people as possible. That's the point I'm trying to accomplish. Like, whether who agree or disagree, I'm fine with that. Keep it respectful. Hey, I feel like you should have put this comic in that. I don't have a problem with that. I'll chat with you, whenever. But if you guys like the content, like, comment if you want to. I'll respond back to those. Share, subscribe. It's Cash Cow with another video. I'm out.